Okay, so happy Thursday, everyone. I'm here with Rita Kinzer, and Rita and I have known each other for quite a while. I think we met like 2014 when
Hmm.
we were doing a faster EFT training. We met in Oklahoma, right? Is that right?
Right.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. And yeah, so I'm so happy to have you, Rita. I'm just so excited to be here with you. And for all of you who don't know Rita, Rita is a lifelong learner. Rita is just like when I think about knowledge and wisdom and growth and expansion, I think about Rita. So Rita is she's been a lifelong learner. She's done many programs over the years, and she is also an international artist. And wait till you see her work. She is getting ready to launch some of her new collection, and I can't wait to share it with everybody here. So thanks for joining me, Rita.
Thank
I'm
you for
so
having me, Cheryl.
yeah, I'm so excited to have you. And because you have done so many programs over the years, I mean, as I said, like you're just, you bring so much knowledge and wisdom to every group that you're in. So I was thrilled when you said yes to joining Thinking the Results. And because you've done so many different things, I would love to hear a little bit about your perspective on what's different about Thinking the Results program, because you've had some great success with this program, and I'd love to hear just your thoughts on what's different about this compared to other things that you've tried over the years.
Uh, this is a really well organized program. It is thought out. There's lessons, there's videos. I think that Sally Gallagher and Bob Proctor have done a fantastic job at bringing this program to an easily consumed product.
Yeah, it's really carefully
Yeah.
curated.
Yeah, and if you follow the program and do what you're told, then they have researched this. This is not rocket science. They know what they're doing, and this is a fantastic program if you follow it.
If you follow it, that's the key, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
remember that repetition. We've got to repeat. We didn't get here with our problems overnight. We cannot solve them overnight. We need repetition to then alleviate the problems.
Right. Repetition is key for
Mhm.
sure, for sure. Because when you're creating a new way of thinking, you've got to install it, right? And it's like anything, when you install it and repeat it, this is a repeatable formula to create anything that you want. But in order to do that, you've got to do the mental reps
Oh, yes.
to get there, right? And you've
Mhm.
got to create new healthy habits, to support whatever goals and achievements that you're desiring in life. So you're installing new thoughts, new habits, new ways, new patterns, new ways of doing
Mhm.
things, and just the way that they've curated it, it just really beautifully teaches someone how to do that, because that's not something that we learn in school, right?
Right. And you don't learn it in other programs that I've taken either. This is a well thought out, well designed little piece is each week. Each lesson is a complete lesson, and you can jump in at any time, I think. It doesn't matter, but you need to repeat the 12 weeks, then repeat it again.
And implement the work, right? So,
Right.
and that's what really,
Repetition.
so it's not just about like, because I know, and you've probably had this experience
Mm.
too, where you buy a course and
Oh,
then
yeah.
you don't do it, right? You buy a course and then you don't do it, or you start it and you don't finish it. Um, and so how is that different from what we're doing here in this program?
I really like the fact that we meet together as a group. We have a set assigned time. We meet twice a week. You have to show, you should show up for your own self.
Right.
And by showing up, you get a camaraderie with the other people in your group, your cohort. And with this, then you start to feel you have support outside. You know, okay, it's only going to Tuesday. Okay, there's only two more days before you get back into the same energy.
Mm,
And the fact that that energy is what keeps you going on to continue your work, because you're going to show up and you don't want to not have done your reps.
right. And also there's the collective energy too, right? And
This is what I'm basically saying is when
Mhm.
you get there and you have all your friends, you get to be really good friends with these people. And they just, the whole, everybody's got problems. You understand that. And you're helping one another together to solve their problems. And by the way, solving yours.
Mm,
Because basically, the problems are very, very similar.
they are, aren't they? They are. And it's so easy to see how everybody's kind of mirroring each other in a way, right?
Yes,
Kind of
yes.
holding up the mirror for what someone else in the group might need to see.
Hmm.
Um, so, and what I also love is, the diversity of the group, right? I mean,
Yes.
we think about like there are people in the group that are in their 20s, all the way to their 70s,
Hmm.
men, women, professionals, entrepreneurs,
Hmm.
like, and so when I look at the diversity of the group and how everybody's bringing, their individual unique gifts and strengths to the group, and also, their knowledge and wisdom. And that's, one of the reasons why I was so excited that you came to join us, because you have so much to bring, in terms of your experiences and all of the different things that you've studied over the years. But that collective wisdom and that collective energy and those different perspectives, it's really powerful, isn't it?
Oh, it truly is. I love that. I just love, and to know that you can go to a conference or a workshop and you're there for maybe 3 days, maybe 4 days, and you're really running on this high because you're with like-minded people. And then when you leave, you don't have that energy support
Oh,
and
yeah.
to make the changes permanently.
I love that. And you're so right. Because I can't I can't think of how many times I've been to a 3-day event or something. And you come
Yeah,
back, it's with such a high,
yeah,
because you're with all these people, you're all on the same trajectory, you've all
yeah,
got the same mission,
yeah,
everybody's committed to growth and expansion, everybody's go chasing their
yeah,
dreams, has bigger goals or wants to think bigger. So you want, like, I've had that happen to me so many times where I come back
yeah.
from a trip, and then all the people that I met, I try to stay connected to them, but they're all in different cities or different
Yes.
countries, and you try to stay connected, and and it just, I don't know, it all fizzles out, right? And
Right.
the community doesn't really stay intact. So I never really thought of that, but you're absolutely right, because you keep coming back, and the group is growing, and the people are
Mhm,
showing up, and then you're meeting on your own outside of the group, and
mhm.
supporting each other too. So thank you for reminding me of that, because that is a big win, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
It's
Yeah.
one of the really strong point, I think, of the program.
Yeah, and all the multiple layers of accountability, right?
Right.
As a coach, that was my important to me, is that, I saw the power in the program, and then I wanted to create, the coaching side of the program with multiple layers of accountability to set people up for
Mm.
success. Which I feel like, I don't know, what are your thoughts? Are we accomplishing? Am I accomplishing that?
Oh, yes. The accountability part is really crucial because first of all, you're going to, the individual is going to show up with something, or they're not going to show up, and then that it dissolves. The accountability dissolves. But most people, I think, who have invested in themselves will go ahead and show up and contribute and understand that it's very important to both of you. And you develop friendships through the accountability.
Yeah,
And
I see those friendships
yeah,
forming. And
and they'll be lifelong friendships.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you just, you know, for whatever time you're here doesn't mean, when you leave here, those relationships end. So, given the fact that you've done so much, so many other programs in your life,
Hmm.
what, and this one is seems to be really working for you. Like, how quickly did you start to see results?
Well, I had a really hard time at the beginning with the lesson one, the goal setting lesson, because I had not never realized that I myself had never had a personal dream. That I just went along and I learned things and I had to fill in time. So I took more lessons and more lessons and more classes and more of this and, but I never had a personal dream of what I thought was possible for me, not as a unit, as a, family unit, but as an individual.
Wow.
And so this program really forced me to think of what would I really like to do or want to do that it was sustainable in the long run, and that I've always been interested in it. And this is how I came up with my goal finally. But it
That,
took me about 3 or 4 weeks before I came up with my goal.
yeah, but you came up with it.
Right,
You got there. It
right,
doesn't, it doesn't matter how long it takes as long as you
right,
get there, right?
right. Right.
So,
And was really important. And, in this COVID time, without a goal to stay focused on, I think I'd be start raving nuts.
well, I think there are a lot of people that are, right?
Yes, I agree with that too.
And it's not over. We've still got
No,
a long way
no,
to go.
no, no, no. It's not over.
Yeah,
But when you have a goal, it's easier to stay um, not distracted. So it's easier to stay positive because the externals energy is not coming in and distracting you.
right. Or you're not allowing it to.
Right.
No.
But that's because you don't have time because you got your goal.
And you're focused. You're,
Yes,
you're focused on,
your
what you
goal.
really want
Hmm.
versus what you don't want, right?
Right.
Yeah. Awesome. And I love your goal. I mean, it's an exciting goal. The cool thing is it's already in motion, right?
Right. Right.
You are,
No, it's going to come. Like eventually, I'm still not sure when, but it's going to be there. But if it wasn't, if I knew how to do it, then it wouldn't be a C goal.
right, right. But even though you don't know exactly how it's all going to unfold,
Right.
it's actually unfolding, right?
Right. Hmm.
You know, you're building a platform for your art. You're going to, be exhibiting it and sharing it in multiple different ways, and you've sold some art, and it's really happening. So, I mean, how cool is it at this, to say I've never had a goal at this point in your life.
Yeah.
Like that really is tremendously heartfelt and meaningful for me that you
Hmm.
were able to get there, because I know, like, I think about my mother who, she died in her 60s, and I never really felt you know, like she had a rough life, right? She struggled a lot throughout her life, and I never really felt like she did what she really wanted to do, or
Hmm.
really had a dream or had a goal, or
Yeah.
so it made me sad for her that she didn't get to experience that in this lifetime. And I think there are a lot of people that go
Mhm.
through their entire life and don't get to experience that kind of joy and
Mhm.
personal success, like whatever that fulfillment is for them.
Right.
So so to be, here now and in that spot, how does that, how does that feel?
Well, I wished it would have happened like many decades ago, but we only can live in the now. So I'm very excited about it, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for you. I really
Well,
am.
thank you.
I really am.
Yeah.
What are some of the, the limiting beliefs that you've been able to let go of in this program that have allowed you to dream bigger and step into that worthy goal?
Mm, that I wasn't worthy of a goal, that I just needed to do what I needed to do, and just make sure that I followed the program, which was someone else's program. but
Ah,
but I was the contributor. I contributed to that person's success. But so I had to let go with the fact that I was not worthy of having a goal.
wow.
That I know I wasn't, quite good enough to have my own wants and my own desires.
That's unbelievable. I mean, that's big.
Hmm.
I feel like that's bigger than like, making $1 million or, like,
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. There's different, you
Yeah.
know, we put different price and value on things, right?
Yeah.
But um like to get to a place, like if you've spent your life not feeling worthy or not feeling good enough, or, to get to a place where you actually start to feel that for
Yeah.
yourself, that's power.
Oh, this is true. Power. I feel that I will get to my goal.
You
And
will.
I will, and I'm just putting blinders on, and I'm just going for my goal.
Love it. And what's it going to feel like? Like, what is it
I
already?
have no idea. I've never had this feeling, so I have no idea of what it's going to feel like.
What does it feel like right now?
Uh, it feels like all the work I've done in the past, everything I've done was a contributing factor to the fact that now I can do this.
Yeah, I'm
You know,
ready.
yeah, I'm ready. It's my turn.
Yeah. And it's okay to,
Hmm.
you know, it's okay to put myself first. It's okay
Right.
to love myself, put myself first, and, and to give myself permission to have a dream and
Right.
see it through, right?
Hmm.
Uh, purpose and meaning
Hmm.
and joy and fulfillment. So, um, and that's really what's happening for everybody in the group, isn't it?
I think so. I
Yeah.
really feel that's why when I said like we all are very similar with what we want, uh, just different words, but I think we all want this feeling.
We all want this feeling. I mean, yeah, there are so many people out there that just really aren't happy with their lives.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so, what do you think, separates those that take action and make a committed decision to do something like this versus those that don't?
Hmm. Hmm. What makes them different? The two different?
Yeah, like what,
Well,
like
I think
I think about this all the time, right? Like this, anybody could do this.
right,
And there are
right.
so many people that are saying, I hate my life, I hate my job, I'm not, my
Mhm.
relationship, or I can't afford it, or they have all these excuses as to why they're not, fulfilled in life, but they aren't willing to invest in themselves or take, the necessary steps. So
Mhm.
what is it about the people that, in this group that are doing it? Like what's different about them?
Oh, what is different about them? I think that they were willing to take a leap and in investing in themselves, which lots of people have gone to therapy for years and gotten no results. Okay.
Mm,
So but to invest in themselves and be responsible for their own success, not for the therapist's success and making, sit there and talk. No, 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 no. That's not going to work. You need to invest yourself and do the work yourself, not by somebody telling you that you should do
Right.
it.
You need to invest in yourself. So what would you, so yeah, I mean, I really think it's about accountability to
Yeah,
self, right? Like,
right.
you know, it's so easy for us to blame other people for what's not working in our life, or, blame our boss or blame our husband or our spouse or our parents.
Mm, mm.
Our parents, like we love to blame our parents, right?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It's all my mummy's fault.
you
Yeah.
know so but you're right, like it comes down to taking responsibility and saying,
Mm.
I am responsible for my happiness and my well-being, and if I want to achieve whatever it is I want to achieve in life, I need to invest in myself. I need to do the deeper work,
Mhm.
and really figure out what needs to shift in order to get more of what I want than what I don't want.
But that person has to be at that point of wanting, or at least recognizing that there is an alternative to being stuck. And
Ah,
if they have not been awoken to the alternative, then I'm not sure whether they could succeed or not.
right.
But having a financial obligation, or it costs a certain amount of money to do this work. Also, I think it comes back to accountability. You've invested in yourself. You're going to want the very best value out of your investment. And
Right.
that investment makes you show up.
Yeah.
And if they don't show up and they drop it, then what they paid for is not high enough for them to value the investment they've made in themselves.
Oh, yeah, because I know, like, I know for me, when I see something online and it's $100 or $97, that, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then I never actually, like, half the time I don't even do them because,
Yeah.
I don't put them in my calendar. I
Yes, they're
forget.
not valued enough.
But yeah, so they're not valued enough. But you're
Yeah.
right. If I invest, like, 5,000, 10,000, whatever it is, if I invest it's a bigger investment, I
Mm,
absolutely need to show up and get my money's worth. And it does hold me more accountable. So I really get that too. So I think it boils down to, like you said, understanding, like being awake enough to say, okay, like, I may not know what the solution is, but I know I'm not happy, and I want something, and I'm looking for something. If we all know with the law of attraction, like if you put it out to the universe, I need help, or I'm ready to do the work or get the
mm,
support that I need to achieve whatever it is I'm wanting. The making that committed decision to just say, I'm ready to do whatever it takes to, shift things. The universe is going to support you. It's going to send you
right.
what, right? When we make a commitment to a decision to do it, the universe will support us. And I think the other thing, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but I think it takes a lot of courage to do this work.
Oh, definitely, because you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to realize that there's an alternative way that you've been doing what you've been doing for how long. There's an alternative and there's a better way.
There's a
And and to change is hard. It's really hard to change what because you get tired, you get overwhelmed, and you want to slip back into doing the old way. But the old way what didn't get you anyway. That's why you're already here, trying to get a new way.
Yeah, and wouldn't you agree though, as you go through the material, that this material supports you in making it
Uh,
a
uh,
little easier? Like,
oh God.
like
It gives you,
we
yeah.
think it has to be hard, but if you learn how to master mindset and your mental faculties, it actually becomes easier to make
Oh,
change.
definitely. But one good thing about this TIR program is it gives you digestible pieces. It's all in little pieces. They're not expecting you to change overnight. They're expecting you to do your lessons, read them, internalize what you possibly can at that particular moment, realize that you haven't done the reps, so you really haven't gotten that, and that you can make a little bit of progress, and understand that you're going to come back to this and revisit it and add layers upon it.
Mm, layers. Yeah.
It's like cooking. You don't make that fantastic sauce all at once. You got to brown the meat. You got to, add the spices, and then slowly but surely, and it takes time. And then you're going to have that sauce.
Ah, I love it. I was visualizing lasagna, the
Oh
layers.
yeah, but you make the lasagna, you put down the pasta,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then it takes time to put it in the oven and bake it.
Right. Oh, yes. Yes,
Like
indeed.
just adding the ingredients isn't going to help you. Then you got raw lasagna. So you got that knowing doing thing. You know how to do it, but you haven't done it.
Right.
But because you have to put it in the oven and bake it.
Love it. I love this. I love this like visualization. Like this is really like because it is because if you take all those ingredients and put them in separately,
Yeah,
it,
they're just
it
ingredients.
doesn't give you what like lasagna gives you.
No, 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 because the flavors, the whole thing, it needs to bake and to
Right.
to
Right.
develop into that delicious sauce with the pasta, with
The
it
cheese.
needs it all, but you can't get there instantaneously. It,
Yeah.
it takes time, takes repetition.
It does take repetition, which is why we do the program for an extended period of time.
Right, right.
And some people repeat it. Some people just like myself, I just keep doing the work. And even when I think about Bob Proctor, like he's been doing this work religiously every day for 60 plus years, right?
Right.
And something else that you said just a little while ago really resonated with me. Like, he says this all the time. If your way's not working, why don't you try my way?
Right.
Right. And I mean, I think for anybody in the group that is, doing this work, they can actually say,
Right.
yeah, this way is working because we're seeing it every single week. People are
Yeah.
hitting their goals and people are making powerful shifts
Mhm,
with this material.
mhm.
So, what do you want to say to those who are thinking about joining this program? What words of wisdom do you have, or what would you like to tell them to maybe inspire them a bit to consider doing this?
I would say do the program. If you're thinking about it, you're on the right path. And to do the program, and you'll never regret it.
Mm,
Never regret it. Just to find out exactly how the subconscious mind is working is good enough for the program. Just to find out how the mind and the subconscious and the conscious work together, and which controls what. That in itself is worth the program.
absolutely, it really is because, like I said, we're not taught that in school.
No.
And we don't really there's so many people with all these degrees and just that aren't having the kind of success that they anticipated,
Mhm.
but it's really not about the intellectual knowledge. It's more about what's driving the habits, behaviors, and thoughts and patterns that we have that get in our way. So to be
And
able to learn.
all our limiting beliefs, all our paradigms, all these things that
Mhm.
make us who we are. But if we want to be better represent ourselves better in the world, then we need more information. We not maybe not more information. We need to do repetition and change it.
We need to do the work.
We need to
We
do
need
the
to do
work.
the work. I love it. So yeah, so if whatever you guys are doing out there isn't working for you,
Mhm.
why don't you just come and join us and
Oh
try it
yes.
our way, right? Because I think everybody in our program is getting the results that they want
Oh yes.
or
I
on their
agree. And
way to
and
getting the results that they
huge financial results. If
yeah,
that if that's your goal, is to get more money, I'm just blown away by the people in the group,
Yeah,
and just a little mind shift and a little something, doing something a little bit different,
right.
and they have great success.
Yeah, they're just getting rid of the money blocks. They're just
Yeah.
getting rid of the, whatever's blocking them from having
Mm,
having more, being more, doing more.
mm.
That's what's happening for everybody. So thank you for sharing your
Well, thank you for
experience.
having me.
I am so excited for you. I can't wait. So, we get to launch, attend your art, your big
Mhm.
launch.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep everybody informed in that, and keep, cheering you on, because
Well,
you're
thank you.
wonderful. And I can't wait to get my piece in the mail. So,
Well, it's supposed to be showing up eventually.
and here's to the dream. I am
Yeah.
so grateful, that you decided to join us, and that you got to that, that realization of what it is that you were meant to be doing here for
Mhm.
you. So we'll just continue to follow you, and to see you, with your goal in motion. And I really appreciate you being here. So
Well, thank you for having me.
I appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody in the group does too. So have a great weekend, everyone, and we will see you next week.
Thank you so much, Cheryl, for having me.
It's a pleasure.